So let's put this in perspective. Men used to be able to just abandon their families and not have to pay any money. And that's what they were doing. So it was a bunch of black fathers having children and abandoning their kids, right? My grandfather was one of them. So the Black Panther Party stepped in and started all these like programs in the neighborhood to help take care of the people in the neighborhood. Mainly kids, if you think about it. So what ended up becoming WIC and what ended up becoming, like free lunch in the schools, that was started by the Black Panther Party. And why were those programs so necessary in the community? Because black men had abandoned their families. The government took that idea and made it into a national program, right? But here's where it gets tricky, because the women, prior to these programs, being accessible to them, they were essentially prisoners in these relationships, if you think about it, because they were either a lot of times, I'm not saying in every relationship, but I'm saying in the ones when they ended up leaving, they were either in a toxic relationship, basically held against their will because the man was, helping them provide or whatever the case may be financially, or the man would just leave and there was nothing that the woman could do. She wasn't getting any help whatsoever, right? So it was like a lose-lose for her. Now, the government says, we'll give you some money. We'll help you out a little bit. We got, we got housing, we got food, we got whatever, right? This money did not equal the amount of money that the man that was in the home was providing, but it was enough to sustain the women and the children. And a lot of women said, I would rather be single, right? As long as I got enough to provide for me and my kids, but I would rather be single than to stay in this toxic, dangerous relationship with this man. And that's what a lot of women chose to do. And as a human being, why would I blame the woman in that case? I'm sure it took a lot for her to leave that man. It wasn't like she wanted to leave him. She would have left him earlier if that was the case, right? If she could, if it was just that simple. But when you want to think about it in dollars and cents, she lost money. There's no way a government check is making up for what a man was providing for her. There's no way. And also, a lot of times the men weren't providing. They were just like another child in the house. They weren't working, and the women were working. They was like, okay, well, we can get rid of them and then we can get some money. And that's what they did. And that's why I would never blame women for this thing, for this phenomenon. I would never blame the woman for that. That's crazy. Fast forward to 2023, we see what's happening now. As soon as women have some autonomy over their life, as soon as women started to be able to make enough money to provide for themselves, all of a sudden, a lot of men are single. A lot of men can't find a woman. A lot of women are single by choice. A lot of men are single because they have no choice. And a lot of men like this want to go back to women not having that right. They don't want women to have choices. So they try to use talking points like this to vilify women and make them feel bad for choosing the safety of them and their children over the man.